Dog the things me comfy, dog the things, you hear? Dog the things me comfy, dog the things, you hear me? Dog the things me comfy, dog the things. Me no business, me no care if them screw face, whoa. Dog the things me comfy, dog the things, you hear me? Dog the things me comfy, dog the things, whoa. Dog the things me comfy, dog the things. Me no business, me no care if them no worry.
Let me start the things, so we're gonna let's start the things. TV is your boy Fire Feelings back in the building. It's Saturday the 3rd of May. It's my birthday month. Few weeks to go before my birthday. Welcome back to another upload. Welcome back to our next update. Welcome back to Let's Start the Things TV. We got so much interesting topics for you today, guys. So I'm ensuring and I know to myself that you guys do not want to miss this. Y'all better stick around to the end of the content to get the full story. But like I said, guys, if it's your first time over here, remember, do give the video a thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button and put your post notification bell on. Feel free to dissect with your comments in the comment section. Like I told you guys, man, over here is where it's getting the latest in what's going on in Guyana and in the diaspora. Alright, see what's going on. Definitely on the news menu today, we got hotel owner release, DNA sample taken from him and Aiana sent overseas. Whoa, I'm telling you right now, it is crazy. Also on the news menu today, Azruddin Mohamed voiced political ambition. Yes, guys, I don't know, but I think I hear that he stated that he's going to be running for president. And we got so much more for you guys, alright? See what's going on. Like I said, don't move. I telling y'all, see what's going on. We're going to jump into the news quick and fast.
Boom! Let's start the thing. Is fire, fire in the wire over there. Adrian Dutchin, make sure you check out Let's Talk the Thing TV. Hey, YouTube in good again.
We're gonna jump into the news definitely with, yes, hotel owner release sample taken from him and Aiana sent overseas, guys. So I know what's going on, alright? Let me get this. And it says here, the owner of the Double Day International Hotel, Boynak Bulla, was released from police custody last Sunday after he was arrested 72 hours prior for questioning in the relation of the death of the 11-year-old Aiana Young. Young's lifeless body was discovered in the pool less than 24 hours after she was reported missing by her relatives. Bulla and several of his staff were arrested last Thursday after the child body was found in the hotel pool at Tushin East Bank, Essequibo. Despite repeated inquiry by the journalists, included question posed in the police media WhatsApp group, which include Home Affairs Minister Robson Ben and Police Commissioner Clifton Hickins. The Guyana Police Force GPF remained silent until yesterday when a statement was issued indicating that Bulla was arrested. The police force said that Bulla was released after the statutory detention period had elapsed and was instructed by investigators to report daily to the police station until the outcome of the investigation until the death of the child. Further, the Immigration Department has blacklisted and prohibited Bulla from leaving the jurisdiction. The police's disclosure comes one day after Vice President Barry Jagdeo said that the GPF must provide clear and timely updates on the investigation. At the press conference, Jagdeo made it clear that operational updates from the police are not for the politicians to do, so I don't know who they are. I don't interfere in police negotiation. I think politicians should stay away from police investigation, but this is a question you should pose to the Commissioner of Police or the PR, until he said. He noted that media houses are part of the police's official communication channel and urged them to press for answers there rather than expect politician figures to provide operational details. Why didn't you pose the question in the group rather than ask politicians to tell you? Jagdeo asked it. Jagdeo, you really take people for faking fool by. Really? You really think Guyanese people is fool? What you mean politicians should stay out of police business. It's simple question. She just asked if these guys was in custody. That's what she asked. And you say you don't. Sure. Anyway, let me continue. Pressed it further on the lack of response from the police PR. In it, despite multiple requests, Jagdeo acknowledged the gap and called for the force to improve its public communication. The PR group must deal with it. The police have their own PR group and they must deal with these matters too and provide timely information. They have to step up on the PR front, he asserted. The vice president response came amid growing public and media concern over the handling of the investigation. Bola, who previously faced a murder charge in 2012, was reportedly taken into custody on the morning of April 24, 2025. His staff was detained the same day after Aiana's body was recovered. However, nearly a week later, the police remained silent on whether the suspects are still being held or have been released. DNA sent overseas. A forensic autopsy was conducted on Aiana's body on Monday and the test concluded that she drowned it. However, it was stated that toxicology tests are still outstanding on determining of the type of water found in Aiana's system. Wow. In the update, the police also disclosed that DNA sample taken from Bola along with sample from the body of Aiana Young will be sent overseas Thursday evening for testing. DNA samples obtained from the said individual and those of Aiana Young will be escorted this evening by a forensic investigator for advanced testing and analysis at the Mount Sinai Health Center in New York, police said. Well, viewers and subscribers, as you guys just know heard there, what's going on with the owner, and it's crazy at this said moment. I want you guys to drop your comments in the comment section. We all know that we never heard he was in custody, so I'm saying to myself, if we never get a statement whereby he was held before until now, and then we're hearing that he was released 72 hours after, it's kind of strange. Now, this is what I'm saying. The boss man for the place getting arrested. What about his son, the guy in the red jersey, Mr. Wet Pants? He is really the man that was doing the most. We wasn't seeing his father around the place, although he must get held accountable for also. But it's Leroy. What part of Leroy there? Where is Mr. Leroy? This is what you want to know. Viewers and subscribers, leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know with your thoughts. Anyway, let me continue with the news menu, guys. And definitely we're going to continue with Azruddin Mohamed voice political ambition. Well-known Georgetown businessman Azruddin Mohamed, the son of Nazar Shell Mohamed, has broken the ice and officially expressed his intention to seek political office in Guyana, South America. Mr. Azruddin Mohamed, a wealthy businessman and a philanthropist, is well known across the country of Guyana, especially through his Facebook page, Team Mohamed. For the past several years, there have been widespread speculation as whether Mohamed was interested in leveraging his nationwide popularity to gain political mileage. On that note, the question across as to whether he would coalesce with a existing politic group or become his leader of his own political movement. By Mohamed is time bias. I tell y'all this would have happened. I tell you, just be waiting. Alright, let me continue. It says, for years Mohamed had kept the nation in suspense, neither admitting nor denying a desire for political office. In mid-2024, the Mohamed included Azruddin and his father Nazir, and their business were sanctioned by the United States Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, leader to the subsequent closure of several of their local businesses. The sanctions apparently also caused a rift between the businessman and the ruling PPPC government, as numerous social media exchange and words were noted between government officials and the Mohamed. Subsequently, after the sanctions, the Mohamed were accused by persons affiliated with the PPPC government for instigating riots across Guyana and of siding with the opposition PNCR. On the 29th of April 2025, Azruddin Mohamed, in a Facebook video via his Facebook page, encouraged Guyanese to vote wisely in the upcoming elections, stating that the country needs good leadership, and also stating expressly that he would like to be a part of that leadership. He did not clarify, however, how he intends to be part of that leadership, whether being coalescing or forming his own political movement. On several occasions, however, However, he had said that if he should seek political office, he would not need closure with any existing politic group and that he can single-handedly defend the PPP government by himself. Doubtless, Mohamed's political ambition, whether implicit or explicit, has put the PPP government on edge, which has targeted numerous smear campaigns against him both directly and via proxies. Azzuddin Mohamed has a very large fan base, reflected by voices in the street and on social media commentaries. Many have been calling for him to contest the upcoming national elections as president candidate. Many, on the other hand, are skeptical, citing that his status with the US government could put US-Guyana relations in jeopardy, which in turn would make Guyana more vulnerable to a potential Venezuela incursion amongst other disadvantages. This recent direct admission of political ambition by Mohamed is a welcome development for many who are now urged to know how and in what manner he would seek to be part of the country leadership. Let this be a turning point for us as well in the days ahead. We will need leadership that will not just react but restore. I'm committed to be a part of the leadership, Azzuddin Mohamed said. Well, viewers and subscribers, as you hear it there, Mohamed finally declared that he's gonna be taking part of the national elections. It looked like he and the US sort out the differences. So I got a feeling why he did not say anything from ever since people were speculating and wondering what was going on is because he was trying to clarify and fix he and the US problem. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we all know that must be started because of the leaders that is in power right now. But you guys leave your comments in the comment section. Do you think Azzuddin Mohamed would win if he take part of the national upcoming elections? What's your thoughts? Leave it in the comment section, guys. All right. Anyway, that was on the news. Time for us to jump into some stuff quick and fast. Let's get this.
At my press conference, I asked the police to release the video that they claimed they had supporting the statement that they made that the child left in a vehicle, and they gave the number and make of the vehicle. I said, how is it, I asked, how is it that you claim the child left, you said you had a video, and then the body was found in the pool? It's inconsistent with the fact. And why, how did the body, if the child left, reappear in the pool? Before my press conference ended, they then issued a statement saying that the initial statement was false. And then they subsequently issued another statement saying that it's the civilian staff who work at the command center. Now there is a command center to monitor cameras. The cameras that you see along the road. So there are people who work there who are not police. They watch the cameras all the time, and then if they see anything, a crime being committed or anything unusual, they then report it to the police. They're not police. So they claim that a young lady had provided false information and she was sent on leave. We still have to investigate that. We still have to investigate. And I suspect that in the thorough investigation promised by the president, all of those matters, including police action, will be reviewed and investigated. So, the family, through their lawyer, and directly requested of the president to allow them to bring in their own pathologist, because the government brought in a pathologist from Barbados, a world-renowned pathologist, but there were concerns that since the government brought him in, then the government maybe or the police would be involved in a cover-up of the cause of death. So the government of Ghana acceded to the family's request. They chose the pathologist, who is an international and a world-renowned pathologist. They brought him in on their own, at their own expenses. And then the government got 2 other international pathologists to be here so that they could jointly conduct the post-mortem. One from Mount Sinai and the other from Barbados. Now, the autopsy was witnessed by the family doctor, a nurse that the family had confidence in, the lawyer, Darren Wade, and several other persons. The post-mortem was videoed in its entirety so that if there is any doubt about its thoroughness, that could be reviewed. It's all there on video. This was not a regular autopsy. A regular autopsy would take about half an hour. This one took about 5 hours, and it is because it's a forensic autopsy, which is different than a regular autopsy determining cause of death. So, and they still have not completed the entire process because they've sent off samples to do the toxicology report to see if there is like any drug that may have been in the blood or any alcohol or anything of that, any substance.
Well, viewers and subscribers, I'll hear what the Prime Minister just now say. Now, this is me too saying quick and fast because these people them is really feel we is fool. Now, he said that the statement came from an employee at the command center that, you know what I mean, they be watching the videos that is along the road. Now, he made it clear that they have people that is working in this command center, not one person. People. That's why the same thing I said on my live that I know for a fact that they have more than one people is there in this room. So everybody got to make sure, because a situation like this, the whole command center is going to get alarmed to know that, yo, we need to get pictures, we need to get footage, or whatever is the case. So it's not going to be one person alone. It's going to be given that information. Everybody got to see. Everybody got to come up with all the information to the one data that is going to provide it to the police force for them to know who really they're going after. You understand? Now, this is what I'm saying. When this information was sent to the commander of Region 3, now he could have seen clearly with the video that they're sending, or even if, because I don't know if they're going to say, yo, it's a brown car, yellow car, if they're not going to send a footage, letting the commander see where, yo, how the car look or wherever is it. But for you to tell the family members that, yo, we got a video with your daughter going in a car and you know you will see this, then now it come back to we that we got to hear that it was a false statement and that the worker get put on leave or she gets suspended or whatever. How is she fault? Now, she could be pressured to give a statement like that. We don't know, because at that set time you already want to know who is who and what is what, that you could have gathered your information for get this this 11-year-old family member. Make you say, yo, you got footage. When the people them say, show we, you can't show we. The Prime Minister came and said, why, if y'all have footage, why the footage haven't been released? It's crazy. Y'all get where I'm coming from? It's totally crazy. Secondly, yesterday I told you I brought in y'all own pathologists or technologists or whatever with them name. You understand? These examiners, right? Now, what the examiners give us? Nothing. Nothing at the end of the day. All them say she drunk. You know what I mean? They couldn't give us the time. They couldn't give us the manner or the cost. So, I don't know. But viewers and subscribers, y'all leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know where's your thoughts on this. All right. Now, this video that we're going to drop here is from the Doggy Show. He was talking with a doctor, a specialist, and we're talking about a person that is well equipped with the autopsy that Aiana took. So he gave us some pinpoints and some loopholes upon what we may miss or what will be flying over our head without we seeing, to how they are trying to blind our eyes. Guys, I want you to listen to this doctor with what he's really saying. Okay? Let's get this.
No. Ask him. No, ask him. What was that in her nose? Did he notice any fraud in her nose or any cotton wool in her
First
nose?
of all, this doctor is in America, sir.
Oh,
He
well,
don't live in Guyana, in America.
okay. So
He
they
wasn't
know
there.
what he know. He would know because he had representation. Just ask him. Did they
So you
notice
want to
any
ask him
cotton?
a question? Doc, I have a caller want to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hi,
Go
Doc. How
ahead.
you doing? So the question is, right? Based on your knowledge, what do you think was in Adriana's nose? Was it cotton wool or was it fraud?
It's difficult, sir, to ascertain looking at just the TV, and my TV doesn't have the greatest definition in the world. It is a different color from the skin color. It could have been the froth from the nostril, or it could have been some foreign object. The mere fact the pathologist did that, and I'm sure they would have looked at the footage, did not ask for the specimen, or maybe they did ask, but I do not have enough knowledge to say that. However, in general, what I can say is when a body has been submerged and the air in the airways are replaced by the fluid which we swallow, that will produce the frothing. Now, when you're underwater, that frothing will be disappearing from your nostrils. If that body is brought up immediately as merged into the water, then you will see the frothing, which is the water from the lungs that the person just swallowed, and mixing with the air will produce the frothing.
Okay.
So, doctor. So, hold on. Let me get this straight. So, you're basically saying if the body was in the water with the front of her nose, the front would have been washed away.
Yes, sir. To the best of my knowledge, under the conditions which we have in Guyana, which is warm water.
So okay, so I got y'all questions. Hold on, I got this right. So doc, I want to rule this out completely because everybody been wondering, everybody been asking, right? And I
Yes.
don't want to mess this up. So is it safe to say we can rule out the fraud in her nose, right? Because if it was fraud, then the water would have washed it away.
Easily. But I
Okay,
can't rule out anything because I was not there on the scene.
okay. So
The
all
three
right,
pathologists who were there, I'm sure, were very well qualified because that is such a basic assumption, sir. Because that's one of the things you look at. You're drunk. That means you're drunk because you have air, you have water replacing the air in your nostrils, your
yes.
oropharynx, you have
No,
bronchus,
but
you're
my
drinking, and
th-
then
this this would lead me to my next question, right? Because the reason why I'm trying to rule it out is because if that's ruled out, then it leaves us to believe, right, that it was a foreign object in her nose. So if it was a foreign object in her nose, then that tells us that something is going on other than her just falling in the pool.
I think your assumption is accurate, but then again, I will defer to those who were there at the time of the incident, i.e., the father, and also the pathologists who are trained to recognize these
You
things.
know, doctor, I'm sorry for taking up your time, but these questions are really valid and what you call it, crucial and critical, right? But it's just bothering because everybody's saying, okay, cool, the body's there, right? Then what? I mean, why wouldn't anybody make this a big deal? And we're not talking about social media because social media is the one that brought this to everybody's attention, right? But we're not talking about social media here. We're talking about people that's there, or the family, or the doctors themselves, or the pathologists, or anybody. Why isn't anybody at all around y'all questioning whether or not was there a foreign object? Because you did see that on the body. What was that? Since you guys are going over footages, you guys going over clips. Why hasn't anybody came across that clip to see what happened? Because I heard you guys wanted to see, a series of time what happened to the body, right? So why wasn't anybody questioning about the object in her nose or what was that?
You have to
You
test
have
it.
a valid point, and I'm sure it's something of concern. Was there something there before? Was it removed? When was it removed? When was the last time someone saw it? So there are lots of unanswered questions if the premise of what you're saying is correct. But what I allude to is something more important than
What
that.
what
When
is
you do
that?
the initial evaluation and you see that there's no evidence of overt trauma, i.e., all of us can look and see at a body whether or not someone tried to strangle that person by marks on their neck or their arms, or was that person restrained. But in addition to that, We also can see where the elements of restriction, meaning did she fight? Did she scream? Did she, was she being restrained, and was resisting? Those are elements that are easily found on the corpse of someone who's gone through a struggle. But what we still have to be faced with is when the toxicology comes back, we hope it reveals, was she subject to anything else? Was chloroform put onto her to sedate her?
Okay, so
To compromise her physical status?
so
To
with
make
that,
it easier for somebody to submerge her
so
underwater?
doctor, so okay, because we could run conspiracy theories all day, but if that really is a foreign object, then maybe that cotton was stuffed with something that would probably knock her out. But wouldn't you guys see that on the autopsy? Like what was in her system, what was a part, what went to her brain, what went to her bloodstream, or went to her blood vessel, whatever it is, how you guys do it? Wouldn't you see that?
Yeah, you will get the toxicology report is when you take the blood,
Uh-huh.
you spin the blood, and then you separate the red blood cells, the white blood cells from the serum. Then you analyze the serum or the plasma of the blood. That's a clear portion of the blood. And you check it for all the substances that we find commonly in persons who have actually undergone suspicious death, in which they were either restrained and then someone took advantage of them, whether by drowning, whether by asphyxiation, squeezing their neck, or etc. So the toxicology report will see if you take her blood, obviously, Aiana, she will not have chloroform. She will not have a toxic substance. Someone would have had to administer it to her. There was no evidence of it being administered through the skin or through the blood vessels, intravenous or intramuscular anyway. Then it must have been through the nostril.
Yes. So now,
Get into the
so now we see, right? Because now I think the public has a clear understanding that even if you guys are not making it a big deal, that is a big deal, because how else would anything enter her body, right? So now that we rule out that it's not fraud, and it could be a foreign object such as a cotton, then that could have been a more possible way of how they got to knock her out and to drop in that pool and not have a fight for her life. Because if you're unconscious, your body's gonna go into a shock, right? So we don't know, but there's something that whole nostril stuff is definitely important. And I got two more questions, doctor, and that's it. But the next question is, what about time of death? And the last question is, what about the discoloring or bruises looking type stuff on her arms, legs, and her I think it's the shin and the instep or the kneecaps? She had discoloring and bruises on her body. What is that? And the time of death,
Let's do
exact
the
time of
second
death.
question first.
Let's do the second question first,
And
please.
Doggy, it's okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Continue.
Yeah. Let's take the second question first, which is basically signs of external signs of trauma. It is not difficult for even the father or any other non-medical personnel to look at a body and see where there's signs of trauma. The skin will be discolored. The skin might be eroded. It makes it a little bit difficult after 24 hours being submerged in water. I'm just making the assumption that she probably passed away at that time when her grandmother missed her to the time when her body was found. If there was an interval of time, let's say, instead of it being her missing at 1 o'clock, and she was probably killed at 11 o'clock, or she probably passed away at around midnight, then the period of time of the skin changes would bring about a different morphology. It would look different if our body was immersed in water for, let's say, 12 hours.
Okay.
It's different from what it will look in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So it's more important for the person at the site to make that assumption. Now, coming to the previous question, it is for us to describe the process in which a body, when it's immersed in water, we haven't established time of death yet, because no one has been able to say how advanced was the state of decomposition that they mentioned. Was it 12 hours? Was it closer to 6 hours? Because there's timelines to say this is what a body will go through in a climate as warm as Guyana in terms of rigor mortis stepping in. If we put the body in the hot sunshine, it is rigor mortis was the onset of rigor mortis, or stiffening or alterations of the tissues of the body, the muscles, the skin, etc. takes 5 to 6 hours. In a colder climate, it takes 12 hours, in excess of 10 to 12 hours. In a refrigerator or freezer, it is going to take longer. So we are facing with issues that we need to address is what were the terms of, where was the body from? What was the terms and conditions that took place? Because we have to figure out where did the death occur?
Okay,
And how did it occur?
Doc, you made some valid points, right? But let me just go based on what you were saying, right? You said, okay, cool. The body. Let me not go with what you're saying. I'm sorry. Let me go with what I'm saying. If the body, right, is showing a type of discoloring, and you can also sit here and agree that it does not match the same of a body that was somebody that was drowned, right? Then we can say it's foul play. But I'm not trying to get you to say nothing, but I'm asking questions because how could it be possible that she drowned in this pool when she have this coloring that doesn't match of a drowned body or a drowned person, right?
You're making a lot of sense, but what needs to be done is to ascertain how long was Adriana's body in the
But
pool. And
wouldn't that be easy to calculate based on the footage? Because listen, if we calculate the time that she went missing and calculate the time that everybody was there that morning from the video footages, everybody was circling around that pool, the outside. If y'all really look over the frames, like they said you guys were right, you would see that it only had to been a matter of few hours, the max, where that body could have even entered that pool to the time they found that body, right? And if you match that, you would know. If you do you do the calculations, you would know what a body would look like out of the water, like you was just breaking down, and the body would look like in water, right? These type of stuff, it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be that hard for us or people to even. I shouldn't even have to be here asking these questions. This should be highlighted for everybody to see, right? And these questions are really, really being hidden.
I am not disagreeing with you in any way, form, or fashion. But I think it's presumptuous for me to make a statement based on the simple fact that I was not in Guyana. I've not seen the body. I've just seen the footage that you have that appears on social media. But my concern, sir, more than anything is, as a Guyanese, as an American trained board certified physician of Guyanese descent, practicing in the United States for the last 35 years, came from poverty, grew up in Pleasance, better up on the East Coast. Adriana was one of us.
Facts.
My concern is not so much to ascertain the science of this, but if this were a child of a more affluent parent, she would not have died because she would have had protection. The police response would have been different. There was no need for us to basically assume that finding out the reason why she died is as important for us to correct the injustices that we have in our society. The rich and the powerful have a different rule of law. Those who are entitled get a different treatment. We need to address the situations, the socioeconomic situations of our people, more than focus just on was the cotton wool, etc. I think it's important, and I think physicians and the medical field will get it right. And these three physicians, I have the honest feeling that they're great people. But the bigger questions that should be asked by both major political parties is not to have a dog in the fight, but how can we prevent another Adriana from going from us?
Well, viewers and subscribers, as you just know, heard what the doctor issued, and there's a lot of things, a lot of question and answer need to be answered, bro. First and foremost, let me give my quick take on it. Like he said, now if there was formation nose, like Persis was saying, it's cotton. Now if it was foam in the nose, if she was in water, the foam would come out of her nose underwater. But obviously, nobody never saw the foam in her nose in the water. They saw it out of the water. Now is messed up that nobody took a photograph of this. You know what I mean? But then, boom, he mentioned about the rigor mortis. Now, remember when she was put back into the pool? Because we all know that she was not drowned in the pool. Come on, we know that for now. She was drunk, but not in the pool. All right. Rigor mortis, like the doctors say, in a climate like Guyana, if you put her in the hot sun, it takes 4 or 5 to 6 hours, he said. Right? Okay. Now they had 5 to 6 hours, because remember, she was missing 1 something Wednesday. She got found around 10 something, 11 something the Thursday. So obviously when people was going on outside and all these things, they had time and they know direct what going on with the rigor mortis and everything. That's why they waited until that time to put her back in the pool, because if they put you back into the pool stiff, you know what I mean, they would have get messed up with that. So they had to wait until her body come back to herself, although it's dead, for she to go into the pool. Because if they put her into the pool when she's stiff and the word is rigor mortis, she would have crouch up in the pool. She would have know that, oh, scone, this girl get more than just now. But they try to let wear off so it could show that, you know what I mean, she was drowned in the pool for a period of time. So this is what happened. Jesus Christ. Yo, it's crazy at this said moment here, guys. And I'm telling you this once and all the time. I'm telling you, they're talking about the father, one to the son. What about the wet pants? Now I heard people talking about samples sent out to the country with Aiana and the father. So why no sampling sent with the son? That's Leroy. Why they putting the father in this, but still leaving out the son? When the son was literally caught in all the videos and photographs looking suspicious, coming out of the room with the smoke and all these things. It's like, come on, guys. It's like, what? I don't understand. I totally don't understand. Shut God. Yo, it hurt my heart.
This guy is
Let me
about to
show
give you
you.
some history about Doubleday.
Let me start with this photograph. Jenna, take a look at this young man. Do you know him? He's supposed to be the owner of the hotel's son, Bola.
Bola, his father, the man just had a stroke, he's ill. So this young fellow took over the hotel many years ago. I know this family. I know everything about them. So we'll go when we get into the program, we'll discuss it more in more detail. So people will have an understanding. The information that I will provide, a lot of people don't know about it. So as we get going, we will talk more about it. That's his wife, by the way.
That's his wife there?
Yes, the woman is his wife, yes.
Oh, okay.
There's another photograph with him. I guess you may have it with him alone.
No, I don't have that one.
Okay.
So we're going to have to work while my phone uploads, because I all of the uploads that I did are gone, but that's fine. So
Okay.
you're in region 3, Brother Jenna. That's your region. And Tushan is what, about 20 minutes, 50 minutes away from where you are?
5 minutes.
5 minutes away. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's
you're quite familiar with this, with the environment, with Doubleday Hotel. Tell us a little bit about that, please, while this video uploads.
Well, this hotel, it's more or less started out as a guest house. Viewers will remember the Kissing Bridge, which was demolished by Minister Ben some years ago when the PPP was in office during the Ramatar period, I believe. So he demolished the bridge. The bridge was not on the road, it was not interfering with the road, but I don't know. I guess he demolished it because he was in the mood of demolition. So that Kissing Bridge actually is a history of that hotel. I must say that I know this gentleman's father, very good man, very kind, very courteous, and he developed his business in a very small way. I think he has. I think they used to be rice farmers. His, his family come from a rice farming family. I know them very well, and it's shocking to know that this fellow was involved. Is got involved in all kinds of criminal activities. You will recall that he was charged, put in prison, and he was in remand uh, for allegedly killing a young boy,
The young mechanic.
the young mechanic, yes. And it's a very confused situation because during the Granger administration, he was charged during that period, and I understand that when the PPP came to office, he was released. I don't have
Oh wow.
the details of that. So he was charged. He was supposed to be put on trial. He was on remand for many years, and then he was released very quietly and came back into life. So
And there's another situation. Sorry, there's another matter involving another young man who they claim just drowned. So it's three situations that we have on the table.
more than three.
Well, more than three. Another one said, well, I don't really pay attention to many things that are just accusations without a police report, because if somebody tried to kill me, I'll go to the police for sure. Back then, I would have gone and said, well, these people tried to kill me. So I'm not paying very close attention to many things that people are saying, although I would not dismiss them. But the cases that came before law enforcement that were being dealt with, that should have been investigated. And had it not been for this Ariana Young situation, I don't believe that this would have stopped. Honestly speaking,
That's true.
when I
That's
show
true.
you, when I show you this here, Gina,
When we get into it, you'll understand. People will
yes,
understand why.
let me show them this right here.
People will
Look at this.
understand why they burnt down those buildings.
Well, give me a
we don't-
second.
we will come to that.
Yes, let me show this. So, Gina,
The policeman there is a man
Mandel.
called Khalid Mandel. Khalid Mandel. His grandfather. There's a bit of history, so that we set the scene for what the reasons why this thing is highly political, and there's no other explanation that anybody can give. And I'll make the links. Mr.
But
Mandel.
Gina, 1 second. In that video, we saw where that assistant, let's on this broadcast, let's be clear about certain terminology. This man is the assistant, one of the assistant commissioners of police. He's not just he's not an inspector, he's not a superintendent. He is an assistant commissioner of police, the head of Region 3's police division. And this man.
Let me correct you. He's not
Go
the
ahead.
assistant. Here goes the politics. He is not the assistant commissioner. He is the
I said
commissioner.
an assistant. No, Mandel is not commissioner.
He was promoted. He was assistant commissioner.
No, commander.
Commander.
No, hold on. Right.
Yes.
I'm saying he's an assistant commissioner. His rank in the police force,
So
he's an assistant commissioner who's the commander of Region 3.
Okay, but let's
Right.
let's track back a little bit and see how he rose to that position.
Mhm.
When he was, I know him well. As I said to you, he was a little boy. He used to come to our house. His grandfather is related to my mother. So I know the family, the Mandal family. I used to go to school with his father. And when I rang his father 2 days ago to speak to him, he doesn't have cell phone. He was in a very nervous state. So I didn't continue to talk to him. I said, I'll go and come and see him. But he was the assistant commander at Leonora. And I went to see him in connection with two matters that has to do two incidents that I had to report to him about. And he calls me uncle. So that's the relationship that I have with him. And he was then transferred to Diamond. And then he was then promoted. I don't know, you're saying, did he jump from assistant commander or deputy commander to assistant commissioner of police? Is that what you say?
Yes, yes, yes. Look. I'll show the people the evidence we're dealing with here, because remember that Mr. Paul Slow would have been the chairman of the Police Service Commission.
That's correct.
We know that the role of the Police Service Commission is to recommend ranks of promotion and also to essentially guide the president and the official leader of the opposition in reference to decision making, so who should be a commissioner and so on.
That's correct.
Air Finale terminated, wrongfully so, Paul Slow and Conway and these people,
That's true.
so that he could have his people he wants promoted, because Slow said he was called by Ali to say, listen, what happened to this person, what happened to this person? He made suggestions. There are a pool of them who Slow said were totally disqualified based on their conduct. But they still got promoted. Look at this evidence here, Jenna. Now, your eyes may not be as good as mine, so let me read it for you. Finally, administrative decision has been made. Look at this. Has been taken, today's date, Friday, April 25th, to reassign Assistant Commissioner, Commander of Regional Division 3, Khalid Mandal. This is Haken who said this. So imagine he's now at the rank of Assistant Commissioner and Commander of the Regional Commander for Region 3, for Division number 3. So Khalid is not an ordinary fish in the pond. And this commander, who is also an assistant police commissioner, did this. That's the man. So Haken cannot make a mistake as to the rank, about the rank regarding Mandal.
So shall we explain this? There are 5 assistant commissioner of police, just like you have 5 vice presidents.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So any of these 5 commissioner of police could be chosen to be the next commissioner of police.
Well, there should be an assistant, then there'll be deputy, I think it'd be. Or is it? I have to check back the rank of Ghana Police Force.
No, they have 5 assistant commissioners.
Assistant.
Right, and each of them has a particular portfolio where they're responsible for different things. That was done during the Granger period. So there's that pool that they pull from to appoint a commissioner of police. The president actually pulls from there, because he has the authority under the Constitution. Then, in consultation with the opposition leader, as you know,
Correct.
and if there's a disagreement, that then the person is appointed but not full commissioner. He still remains
Acting.
acting commissioner of police, as the current one is. So it's
No,
a
Clifton
balance.
Hicken has been confirmed.
Yes,
Contrary to what was acceptable after his age of retirement. He became confirmed.
that's correct. That is one of the many things we have to change in this country, where the politicians appoint policemen to positions of authority. That needs to be changed in the Constitution to allow professionals to actually appoint a commissioner of police based on merit and all the rest of the thing that goes with it, and not appointed by the president or endorsed by the opposition leader. That's one thing needs to be
Right.
changed in the country. But coming back to the
Yeah, but
question,
Jenna, if I may, just for correction, because I want to be clear tonight. I know there are 5 deputy commissioners of police. Because
yes,
what they do, okay, so let's be clear. Because I thought McBean is a deputy commissioner. McBean, for example, can be chosen if Hicken goes to be the commissioner. The assistant commissioners normally now, I think they be the commanders or regional heads, more often than not. But you have got the commissioner, you have deputy commissioners. Then we've got the assistants. Now I'm saying that in his rank, this man, let's just go stick to here. This man, Khalid Mandel, leaned over and told the mother, he has video footage. Come, let's go see. Imagine that an assistant commissioner of police knows the truth. Then when the people dismissed that, he said, okay, look, you'll find any 3 people to go in. Find 3, because you could see now he's trying to cover something up. That's why I wanted to focus and speak to Jenna.
Well, viewers and subscribers, that was it for the show. Yo, it's crazy when you really hear these things. But, you know, Uncle got a point to really say, and I want to show it to Nigel, definitely. And it's just to show you how things is. You know what I mean? I didn't even know Hickens supposed to be in retirement, and still he retired going and you know, be back commissioner. This is crazy. Wow. Anyway, this is part we got to take our leave. Like I said, guys, I'll leave your comments in the comment section. Let's dissect it, okay? It was a pleasure being here with you guys. Like I said, if it's your first time over here, please, even if it's not your first time, please give the video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, put your post notification bell on. You understand? Your boy Fire Feelings. Let's start the things.